Well, the holidays are here, and despite the cheer and festivities, they can still represent a challenging time for some. The stress is especially heightened for individuals with dementia and their families. Now we are joined by Sarah from Life Circles PACE. Thank you so much for joining us. And you're here with some helpful tips this holiday season on kind of how to navigate dementia and how they're dealing with that during the holidays. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about Life Circles first off and what you guys do.
Yeah, so we are a health, social services, in-home care organization that tries to coordinate anything from medical care, in-home aid and attendance, therapies, all bundled together in one spot to help people avoid moving into places like nursing homes because most people don't want to do that.
And now a diagnosis like dementia, it's not easy on the person who's receiving that diagnosis, but also not on the family members as well. So talk about the holidays and how that experience can be heightened at this time of year.
Well, it's probably heightened for all of us, regardless of our health conditions, right? It can be a joyful time, but there are certainly moments of stress.
Yes.
For someone living with brain change or dementia, routine can be really helpful to day-to-day success. And around the holidays, we throw the routine out the window. So we've got lots of family and friends that we might not be seeing for very often. We've got noises, children that are lovely, but also loud and rambunctious. So all of those things can make people feel a little overwhelmed during the holidays with brain change.
Do you have any tips on families who are dealing with this right now and ways that they can kind of make that easier, the transition easier?
Yeah, it's a little late maybe for some, but calling ahead if you're going to the family party and you're going someplace else, calling the host and saying, hey, my spouse might need a quiet space to sort of decompress if things get loud. Setting expectations that we might leave while things are still going well and we might be having a shorter visit this year. And maybe acknowledging that the traditions this year might not be the same as before, but we can still find creative ways to honor them, right? Maybe we're not baking a full meal or doing the evening Christmas Eve. We might do brunch during the day because evening times can sometimes be harder for people living with dementia.
You talked about maybe finding a quiet room as an example. What are some of the triggers that, cause these people who are suffering with this to kind of maybe spiral or go into that process of needing their own space?
Yeah, I mean, it could be lots of different things, right? Like this is not one size fits all, but being overwhelmed by the noise and the sensory experience, the bright lights. There's a tree in the living room. There's never a tree in the living room, right? There's lots of things that happen. Maybe we've got an Aunt Karen who says things that's really helpful but not helpful and saying, well, don't you remember this? Like that can be frustrating. There's different stages of dementia and maybe I realize that my brain isn't working well and I'm a little bit embarrassed and people start asking me those questions, I'm on edge. So it could be a sensory overwhelm. It could be staying someplace too long. It could be an annoying family member.
Hey, we all have those, right?
It's the holidays,
exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for all of the great tips. And definitely you have more information on your website so people can go there. Also call. You have locations in both Muskegon and Holland. We have all that information there right on the screen. And we'll have this info on our website as well, fox17online.com. So if you're interested in learning more, you can head there. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. All right, it is 8:54 this morning.